So the last video I did on Cavalry is actually doing surprisingly well. It's actually getting a decent amount of views, and to be honest, when I made that video, I didn't expect it to do that well. It was just kind of a shot in the dark, really. I found Cavalry one day while looking for motion graphics editor alternatives to After Effects and stuff like that for Linux, and I stumbled across Cavalry. And I tried Cavalry, despite not having a Linux version yet. There is actually planned support for Linux for Cavalry. I'll actually get into a video about that whenever that's possible. But I got into Cavalry. I loved it. It's fantastic, although the lack of support for third-party plugins is a little bit disappointing. Well, not really disappointing. It's brand new, and it takes some time for that for people to develop those kind of things for those kind of programs. But base level, it's actually really, really good. And the video I made on it's actually doing pretty well too. So today, though, I got a bit of a request in the Discord server by our lovely resident love bag, Swag Bear. He requested that I do a bit more of a video on Cavalry, but to entice people to move over from After Effects to Cavalry. Now, here's the thing. I have not used After Effects in many, many years, and I don't exactly know what's been going on with it in the meantime, since I had never used it since then. But when I did use it, it was kind of a hot mess. It was a bit weird, and it would crash pretty frequently. Although I was running on a system with like 6 gigs of RAM, so it would be no surprise that it would crash more frequently than it might do for others, but it was kind of a hot mess and it had a lot of bugs. And Cavalry in comparison is less buggy, to put it bluntly. So today, let's take another look at Cavalry, see what you can do with it compared to After Effects, and just overall see if it's really good enough for you to move over from After Effects. Alright, so before we get into everything here, I'd like to mention I do stream on Twitch. I know my schedule keeps changing though, because my schedule outside of this whole YouTube thing and Twitch thing keeps changing as well. So, for the time being, I'll be only streaming whenever I can. Basically, whenever a day comes up where I'm off, or I'm able to stream again, you know, I'll basically make an announcement on my Twitter page. So if you're not following my Twitter page, the link for it will be down below. But for now, whenever I'm live is whenever I'm live. But if you would like to see me live, I do stream on Twitch whenever I can. But the link to that will be down below as well. So if you want to talk with me, just talk about whatever we talk about here on the videos, stream, ask more questions, you can. And if you'd like to join the larger community at hand, we also have a Discord server, the Spurgeon Empire. Link to both will be down below. Anyway, so what's the biggest difference between Cavalry and After Effects? Well, Cavalry is really focused more on motion graphics rather than 3D editing. After Effects is really good at, despite its many issues, is very good at 3D modeling and 3D effects. Some I've seen with, what was the name of it? Video Copilot. Video Copilot was the name I was thinking of. Video Copilot is very fantastic when it comes to 3D effects and stuff like that when it comes to After Effects. Something that Cavalry does not currently have support for, but I would like to see sometime in the future. But if you're really into 2D animations and 2D effects with plenty of functions to go along with it, Cavalry would do very well, because Cavalry likes to lob things into categories and kind of groups. So the kind of effects that you get will be grouped into specific areas to make things a little easier on you. A big difference between After Effects and Cavalry is that After Effects focuses on kind of a more linear workflow, using very common tools found in motion graphics with keyframes being tied to a range of controls. Kind of standard fare though. You can kind of custom code specific values into an effect in After Effects, but that does kind of require you to have a little bit of basic knowledge of JavaScript to learn its syntax and know how to write that kind of code. Something that is not something you need to know in Cavalry. Cavalry just offers a function that just you can add to an effect or an asset or whatever, and enter a value, and it will do a specific task. There is no specifically coding that you need to be doing in Cavalry when it comes to compared to After Effects. These functions that you can find in Cavalry kind of expand on more of a linear object, allowing you to kind of custom code kind of a specific animation going into a specific fashion that's coordinated without having to keyframe it all together. This makes it kind of not really straightforward, because again, you're coding kind of stuff in here, but it makes it a little more complex animations than you probably would have otherwise. The thing that also sets a Cavalry apart from After Effects is data. Cavalry loves data, and you can lob data into groups as well when it comes to like sorting it out. So, for example, Cavalry's main website, if I can pull it up real quick here, is that you can basically put data to work with Cavalry, whether you're making information beautiful or creating various work, import CSV files, collaborate with Google Sheets, and drive your content with external data. So that's actually a feature that After Effects, to my knowledge, does not have, where you can import a CSV and then use that CSV to create animations with that data. And they actually use an example where they have a percentage of something with hex values coordinate to a color, and with a label that specifically describes a social media platform. So like Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Vimeo, TikTok. They're tied to a hex value that coordinates towards a color. There's a percentage, and Cavalry can work with that data to create animations out of. Kind of like using CSVs as presets to basically make an animation, which is what I've been basically saying here. But I like that because with these CSV files, it makes it easy to just put the information in and get something out of it, without having to put the information in, make the animation, and then get something out of it. I love that kind of thing with Cavalry, because to my knowledge, I don't think any other motion graphics editor is capable of doing that. And the fact that Cavalry can do it, just this small time motion graphics editor that's only been out since July, can do it, it's pretty impressive too. Another thing is the asset management. Assets are kind of a pain sometimes in motion graphics, because if you have like these larger projects where you have multiple assets and different types of effects and stuff like that, and keyframes all over the place, it can be kind of a hard time to manage them all. And Cavalry does it with a lot of gusto, actually, with lack of a better term. It says here that duplication distribution, layout attacks are a breeze, create grids, precision elements along paths, replace shapes, and using image-based distributions. It's all just a few clicks away in Cavalry. So basically what that means is that if you got a lot of assets, we can organize them pretty well here. That's basically all it really says. And you can also create a bunch of different types of effects or different types of groups that you can put. It says you can basically create paths in Cavalry that elements can just take to get to specific parts of the scene, or use shapes using image-based distributions, which basically means that I actually don't know what it means, to be honest. But in general, duplication and making things easy when it comes to large amounts of assets and making sure that they animate correctly is very easy in Cavalry. Going further down, best behavior rules, where there's voxeling shapes, deforming along paths or oscillating precision values, behaviors, and Cavalry's ingredients to your creative recipes. You can together to spread them around multiple elements to generate beautiful and interesting effects. So that's what I was talking about earlier when it comes to grouping effects and functions, is that Cavalry has a lot of functions. If I can pull it up here real quick. So what I mean by that is that if you go up here to the top and just go down to effects and behaviors, you get a ton of them. And they only group them into 4 groups, but what you get is astounding. It's just astounding how many effects you can get, and most of them I don't even know what they do, to be honest. So I'll have to, whenever I am able to, whenever the Linux version comes out, because there is a planned Linux version, I will, even though I don't know what most of them do, there is a planned Linux version, and when that version comes out, I will definitely be making the switch to using Cavalry on Linux, because I want to use Linux so bad as my daily driver. I actually do plan on buying a, what's it called? A Thelio, a System76 Thelio. It's kind of like a computer that made by System76. They make Pop! OS, which is an Ubuntu variant. Sort of. It's based on Ubuntu, but whatever. I want to use it on Linux so bad because I love Cavalry, and the fact that it has all of those effects within them is completely... I mean, I'm just astounded at how many effects it has. I don't know what to say. It's just that if you're... So, here we go. So, I'm going to start wrapping this video up a little bit here because I'm starting to ramble on a little bit here. Should you make the switch over to Cavalry if you're using After Effects? Well, that is largely dependent on your use case. Do you like 2D animations like I do? Well, basically any motion graphics editor will get that done for you, but will they do it more efficiently? Well, that depends. Cavalry has a very robust rendering engine, probably one of the best I've ever seen. But I've only ever used it with 2D animations. So how will it handle 3D objects? Well, I can't say for certain. I haven't used it that far yet. So my recommendation is Cavalry is fantastic when it comes to data, when it comes to distribution and duplication of objects and managing of those objects. It is fantastic when it comes to rendering and its final export qualities. It is fantastic when it comes to just ease of use in general. It's fantastic when it comes to doing more with code and stuff like that. But when it comes to 3D and third-party plugins, I cannot recommend Cavalry because it does not have any support for it quite yet. If you need those plugins like from Video Copilot or Boris or FX Home, you know, it's not going to work for you right now because there are no support for anything right now. It's only version 1.0. It's only been out since July. So play carefully. If you want to switch over to Cavalry, you're more than welcome to. It's fantastic and it is fantastic on many planes in my opinion. But be careful with it because if you end up basically spending the $20 a month on it and find that it doesn't work for you, then I don't know what to say about that. Then that's just that. I'm sorry. I kind of led you astray, apparently. That's apparently what I'm saying here. But in the end, I generally want to move over to it myself because right now I'm using Vegas FX, and it's fantastic because I like its integration with Vegas Pro, which is kind of a video editor I like to use. But it's also kind of bad on many other fronts. So do what the thing with my knee there. I'm sorry. Do what you want. Like, I like Cavalry, but if it doesn't serve up to your needs, then I cannot recommend it. Anyway, so thank you for watching this video because it was kind of a crazy one, to be honest. I didn't really have much of a direction going with this one. I really just want to kind of lay out a few basic reasons why Cavalry is some ways better than After Effects. It's just there's not a lot I can say about it right now because there's not a lot that it has going for right now. I know it has a lot of its basic functions work very well. A lot of its basic features work very well. A lot of basic incentives work very well. But in general, it needs a lot of work, and I do imagine I was struggling a little bit here to figure out good things to say about it right now because it's very early on in its development. It's not as well developed as other programs are. So if you like this video, then give it a like, and if you disliked it, well, I suppose the other one works fine too. But you know, it boosts engagement, so whatever you do, it helps me. And let me know down in the comments below what you plan to do about this. Do you plan to move over from After Effects, or do you plan on sticking with After Effects, or do you plan on doing something completely different altogether and banning After Effects entirely for something that is not Cavalry? I'd like to know down below. Excuse me. So thank you for joining this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.